Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. Amari Zabak out of the GMS Dallas camp. And I'm going to go and continue in Isaiah 34, finishing up from verses 11 on down through 17. And already to give a backstory is, the Most High righteous anger, starting out through verses 1 through 3. And then it gets into the destruction upon Babylon the Great, not only for Babylon the Great and also for the other nations, judgment. And then from verse 11 through 17, we're going to, finish it out. And it's talking about the future of Babylon the Great, which is AKA America. All right. And let's go ahead and get into it. This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 11. And it reads, "But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness." And this is going into the wild birds when it says cormorant, and it's talking about the owl and the raven. These are the wild birds that live, that's going to be living in America, because this place is going to be one big desert, Also, let's get a precept to this, which is in Revelation chapter 18 and verse 2. And it reads, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitations of devils, and hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." See? And these are, the animals that's going to be living over here, okay, when this place is destroyed, Babylon the Great, after the nuclear destruction. It's going to be a memorial place. All right. Let's get back to Isaiah chapter 34. We're going to read that again, verse 11. "But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. The owl also and the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion and the stones of emptiness." Right? And that line of confusion being stretched out is, America is going to be unrecognizable, as we can look at it on the map today and say, Florida was right here, Texas was right here, Utah over there, so on and so on and so forth. How you have lakes and stuff here that used to be there. Certain waters might be dried up in certain areas. It's going to be just one big desert. It's going to be our confusion, unrecognizable, All right. And all of that is coming from the destruction when this place is hit with judgment. All right. Verse 12. And it reads, "They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there, and all her princes shall be nothing." And that's correct, because this place is just going to be a desert, Babylon the Great will be destroyed. So, no, you're not going to have your nobles. It's just going to be one big desert. Basically, just a memory, Verse 13, "And thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortresses thereof. And there shall be an habitation of dragons, and a court for owls." And that's pretty much what we read in Revelation. This place is going to be a habitation for devils, speaking of those owls, ravens, and wild unclean birds, And then going back to where it says, and thorns shall come up in her palaces. And that's speaking of, places like, again, Florida, for example, Miami, it's a big tourist spot and palm trees and this and that. Uh, you know, um, Malibu in California or New York, all of those places where was known, what made America, is going to come to naught, because this place is going to be one big desert, you know. Again, a memorial, verse 14, and it reads, the wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow. The screech owl also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. You see? And this is, just all wild animals and unclean animals this is gonna be like a breeding ground, pretty much. If, this is what this is going into, is gonna be their resting area, America, Babylon the Great. And I think verse 15 goes into that also. There shall the great owl make her nest and lay and hatch and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, everyone with her mate. So again, this is going to be a breeding ground, one big desert, a great memorial that's needed for all of the, evil and atrocities, bloodshed that was, shed here in America, all the wickedness, the defile, abominations, all of those things is coming to naught, And again, this would be one big grave that where a lot of people, lost their lives and was put to death. So, again, this place will be one big memory. And, verse 16, it reads, seek you out of the book of the Lord. And that book is the Bible, these scriptures, and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them. And that's going into these prophecies and the prophets, So we can get a precept for that. Let's get that in, I think it's in Psalms chapter 68. And it reads, Psalm 68 and 11, the Lord gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. You see? And those were the prophets, All right, let's go back to Isaiah 34. I think we was on verse 16, and it reads, seek you out of the book seek you out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them, which are the prophets. All right. Verse 17, and it reads, and he had cast the lot for them, and his hand had divided it unto them by line. They shall possess it forever. From generation to generation, they dwell therein. And those creatures, from generation to generation, this is going to always be a desert. It's not going to be habitable anymore, And, the elect and apostles and prophets, the teachers, this is prophesied that, destruction was going to come to America, which is AKA Babylon the Great. And, this is the judgment from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ra Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and elect. Shalom.